when Tysell finds that, we'll check out the clip. So, let's check out Rev with BioWare playing footsie about with their, with their reviews. Yeah, Xanax, we can because it's not my model. I am not displaying my model. So, it should be fine.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're once again talking about Dragon Age The Veilguard. With only a few days left to its official release, some review codes have been going out and people have been leaving their reviews of this game. However, there seems to be a huge disconnect between the largely negative reviews from gamers and YouTubers versus the largely positive reviews left by the traditional media outlets. And a lot of people are now starting to speculate.
Good. I'm glad here she went live. We may check in on her.
That these review codes are being gatekept by EA and BioWare in an attempt to make sure that all of these reviews are positive to make people think this is a 10 out of 10 game, so they'll go out and purchase it. Now, they might be gatekeeping those codes, but I'm not going to gatekeep you from an amazing new merch drop right here with Advanced GG. 1 minute here. Let's see the new Spooky Shop. This is a drop I did alongside my wife, Darling Straub, who's also a VTuber. If you want to go crazy and get the huge bundle featuring all of our new items and artwork here, you can do that with this bundle option. But if you want to focus on my stuff, there are various bundle options for that as well. But let's look at the items individually because you can purchase them by themselves too if you want. So we have a new flavor jar right here, Rev's Blueberry Sparkle. It is a blueberry ramune flavor. It is very delicious, just like every other flavor jar from Advanced GG. You can see it features some new artwork of my character, and it is a energy supplement. And speaking personally, this has replaced my intake of most of coffee and energy drinks and pre-workout I used to have. This gives you the same energy boost as those products, but without the crash and also the shakiness that comes with those. And you can see too, if you order this, you'll get the limited edition label on the jar. Next up are the ice shakers, which you can see there's this Wisteria, very bright version, and also the traditional black.
Those are some nice shakers, I must say.
The beautiful new artwork here, and as always, the quality of these ice shakers is unmatched. They are very durable, and also they keep your drinks cold.
I must say, Rev, you're looking pretty cute on your shaker. You are looking very cute, Rev. That is a bit. Oh my! Yeah, well, maybe one of these days I'll put in my application to gamer subs. Maybe one of these days.
All day. On top of that, if you're looking for an affordable option, if that's important to you, you can get a sticker as well featuring this new art. Kind of self-explanatory. And the last thing I want to show you guys is something we've never done with Advance before, and that is a new desk mat. You can see it features the new artwork. Honestly, I'm biased here, but this looks really, really nice. And if you buy the bundles or the individual items, just make sure to use code REV at checkout to get 10% off your total order. I'll put all of the relevant links and info in the pinned comment. And as always, I am very proud to be a partner with Advance.
Looking so
I'm also
cute
a very proud consumer of their products, and I know it's a big hit in our community, and a lot of people who give it a try end up becoming regular customers. So let's get back to the content for today.
Oh my God. Look at the ratings. Look at these review ratings. Holy fuck. The only ones that might actually be looking at are these two on the bottom, and I have no fucking clue who these are. All of these. Look at this. Look at the diarrhea coming out of the gaming journalist. Oh, 100% bought and paid for, K-Dog. 100%. But here's the thing. Nobody gives a shit about these. Absolutely no one. No, heckle, it's not bot. It's not a bot, it's shilts. It's absolute shilts. And yeah, they probably paid for it. They paid for the review. And this is why I've always said, do not trust the quote-unquote mainstream game journalists, because their word is worth absolute dog shit these days, actually wait for the actual gamers who have YouTube channels to present their opinion. Because while they may not be right 100% of the time, they will usually have a more level-headed review of a game. They may get it wrong sometimes. Nobody is perfect in that respect, but usually speaking, a lot of the YouTube gamer reviews have a far more balanced and even opinion. Like, they'll say, okay, either they'll say, yeah, this is really fucking bad, or if a game comes out that is, like, supposed to be bad, but it's good, they'll say, you know what? It actually was good. So, oh yeah, well, is it available through Steam? I don't have any doubt it's gonna be, bombed on Steam if it's available through that. Potato, I'm sure there are goodie bags.
Dragon Age the Veilguard, as I mentioned, very positive reviews in the traditional media outlets. You can see all of the 10 out of 10 ratings, some 9 out of 10s. You would think this is a potential Game of the Year candidate. In fact, the reviews of this game are much more positive than Black Myth Wukong, for example. Yep. But if you start looking at some of the reviews themselves and what they're saying, you start scratching your head a bit. So here's IGN, right? They gave this game a 9, right? This is higher than Black Myth Wukong, the way they reviewed that game. But their caption is very strange. It says, if we never get another Dragon Age, at least it got to go out on a high note with Dragon Age the Veilguard.
That's a little telling. To say this. Yeah, this is them almost openly saying they're running massive defense for BioWare on this. Flat out. This is them saying, without actually flat out saying, we're defending BioWare because we were paid to. That's what this is. This is them saying, we were paid to defend BioWare, so we're going to defend BioWare.
So that's very strange. They're giving a 9 rating to a game that they're also implying might kill the franchise. And if you look at, for example, Kotaku, here's what they find important. In Dragon Age the Veilguard, the dialogue option lets you declare your character is trans, and you'll see.
And again, we went over this. We went over this. This shit does not belong into a fantasy game. Where it never existed before, mind you. Dragon Age has a history. And at no point in Dragon Age's history that I'm aware of was there trans characters in Dragon Age. It is only Veilguard, where suddenly trans. Neros, we're looking at a Rev report on how basically BioWare is buying their reviews. Yeah, well, but also Tysel, it's the issue is you are injecting trans issues into a franchise where it never existed before, which makes it all the more jarring and noticeable in a bad way. That's part of the problem. A big part of the problem. And let us not forget they've got the mastectomy scars. Let's not forget during the character creation, you can have top surgery scars. So all of this being injected into a game that never had anything like this before. Well, okay, but Moros, that's not trans characters. If they were changed by magic, I'm reasonably sure they didn't say. I'm reasonably sure of the characters that were changed by magic in Dragon Age previously actually said, I've always felt that I should be X or Y. Please change me with magic. Yeah, I mean, this is what happened. the differences between Baldur's Gate and Dragon Age is Baldur's Gate actually was done by a company that gave a shit about their product. They gave a shit about the story. They put blood, sweat, and tears into their story, and they didn't do it to pander to anyone. That's the difference. Dragon Age, they literally put this shit into pander. That's the big difference.
See a lot of that, and this one is really, this is the chef's kiss right here. So this is a Metacritic approved review from Checkpoint Gaming, who gave this game a 100, a perfect score, and they focus most of the review on inclusive adventuring.
Fuck's sake. Special shout out needs to happen here as Dragon Age has once again done an excellent job when it comes to inclusivity and diversity, sexuality, and gender. A simple example, playing as a male-identifying protagonist, I was able to flirt with whomever I wanted. Boom! Right there. I had the option if I wanted to be gay as fuck, like in real life. This is what happens when you have activists projecting. Fucking... This is what happens. Like, why do you, like, okay, if the writer of this article is a gay man, why did you have to say male-identifying protagonist? Why? This obsession with male or female identifying instead of just saying male or female is out of fucking control. And again, is not benefiting the people that they're supposedly championing. Because actual trans people, actual gay people, hate this shit. They fucking hate it. They don't want this shit in the games. They don't want this shit projected onto them because they just want to live normal lives. But when you have activists pushing this kind of bullshit consistently, yeah, and Tysol, I've said this over and over and over again, and I will keep saying it. These people are doing far more harm to the very things they claim to champion than the supposed enemies of these communities. These activists are far worse of an enemy than the people they always claimed as an enemy. And they have made life for people in the LGBT community worse than it probably has been for a very long time. 100% it has. They have flat out made things worse because they have turned a segment of people that, while they may not have quote unquote approved of the, we'll call it lifestyle choice, because that's the word verbiage they would use, while they might not have approved of it, they would largely leave them the fuck alone. Now, because of these activists cramming the ideology down people's throats at every chance they get, now these people that were content to leave the LGBT community alone actually does see them as enemies now because the activists had turned them into that. So the activists have actually made life 1,000 times worse for this community than any supposed enemy that they once had. They basically, the activists took what was probably considered the golden age of LGBT about 15, 20 years ago and fucked it all up. In their supposed quest for equality and inclusivity, they fucked it all up. And now it's going to be another 20 years before, at least another 20 years before it gets back to the point where it once was.
Saying that they have options across the board to be gay AF like they are in real life, according to this reviewer. And one of the positives mentioned about this game is inclusive. It's very inclusive in very thoughtful and wonderful ways. And also they say it's a testament to diversity and inclusivity.
Oh, not just a testament, a shining testament to diversity and inclusivity. If inclusivity and diversity is the major push that you're making for a story, your story ain't good.
I know that is a very important function of a game to anyone who's looking at a potential game to buy. They want to know how diverse and inclusive it is.
I know,
Yeah,
Yard
I think
Dog.
you get
I
the
know.
point. There is a
And you know
huge
what? That jurisdiction that has been legislated against them, you can blame the activists for that. Because they are the ones that basically brought this issue right into the spotlight. And caused all those people that were content to just leave it the fuck alone. Now we're going, okay, motherfucker, you want to play? Let's play. We're the ones in power. You're not. So the activists are the ones that cause all of these other individuals to go on the attack. Oh, Twitch won't let BAF chat? Trans people can't use sex, male and female. We're biologically binary. They argue that gender and sex were different things, so trans male and trans female are the thing, but even their community uses gender and sex interchangeably. Yeah, it's... of course it's fucking up. Yeah, it's... I know. It's gone out of control, and it's going to take at least another 20 years. Once things fucking stop. Once things finally stop, whenever that is, and that could be years down the line, it will take another 20 years at minimum to reach that level of equilibrium that we saw in the early 2000s, when there was actually, for the most part, equilibrium when it came to the LGBT community being accepted and, welcomed into other communities.
Focus on diversity and inclusion. And not that
Okay,
long ago,
K-Dog.
there was some rumors coming out where some insiders were claiming that this was going to be the wokest game ever. And they were called conspiracy theorists. And it turns out another conspiracy theory is a chud fact, okay? This game is extremely woke, all right? I mean, this is some official dialogue from the game.
Wait, some of my friends in Minerthos talk about not feeling comfortable in their own skin. Okay, chat that has played Dragon Age in the past, please enlighten me. Was something like this prevalent in previous Dragon Age games? I have never played Dragon Age, I never had any desire to. Was this prevalent in previous Dragon Age games? Eh? Well, there it is. There it is, isn't it?
Game. So right here they're saying that basically the people of the town don't feel comfortable in their own skin as a man and as a woman. And also, I mean, let's be real, we're seeing the finalized designs here, and I don't think any of them would feel comfortable in their own skin if they were designed in such a fashion, but there is some incredible dialogue here. So this was also another rumor that the companion in the game...
Non-binary, I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she. Oh, for fuck's sake. We knew this was going to happen, chat. They're putting non-binary into a fucking fantasy game that never had it before. I don't like using the term woke. I think it's grotesquely overused, but I mean, this is woke. This is fucking woke as shit. This is activist bullshit. Right here. I mean, BioWare is on the same path as Ubisoft. Flat out. They are on the same path as Ubisoft. This game is going to tank. They're going to bitch and moan saying, oh, the misogynists and the racist and the sexists are review bombing the game. This game is going to lose millions. And let's see what it does for BioWare, because BioWare is part of EA, right? Let's see what EA decides to do when BioWare loses them a few $100 million.
Was going to be non-binary, and that is now confirmed as well, where this official dialogue says this.
And yeah,
Non-binary,
your
I
dog,
just
I know
said,
about
and
that.
I'm going to use they instead of she from now on. Stunning and brave, but that's a big, big focus of this game, identity. So this is a real
What?
function of the game, establishes transgender identity and unlocks new dialogue options in future conversations. So basically, this is a
What?
milestone and its reward in the game to
Is this goddamn Dustborn 2.0? This is fucking Dustborn again. What the actual fuck? This is an achievement. This is a fucking achievement in Dragon Age. They're making achievements for people that don't play the game. This is for people that don't even play their game. The amount of transgender or non-binary people that are actually gamers like this is probably 1%, if that. That's why the game is going to lose millions.
establish transgender identity, and that again is a big theme. So here is the main protagonist, Rook, and some dialogue and options you're given, saying take a good long hard look at this. So it asks that whole dialogue about establishing transgender identity, and here's the dialogue options you're given. I'm getting there. I love who I am. Feels good to see the real me. And then down here, same thing, but the options are different once again, where
why? It's actually referencing the fucking top surgery scars. Chat, this was not simply just an aesthetic for the character builder. They're actually utilizing them in fucking dialogue options. And yes, you're a dog. The female character models looked ugly as fuck. They had no tits and they had no ass. Because you cannot be attractive in games anymore, according to these people. Attractive women are verboten in video games, according to these people. Oh, Revin, don't even get me started going down the whole non-binary. I went on a fucking rant about the whole non-binary thing and how it's basically bullshit. But I'm not going to get into that now. I've already ranted on that once.
it says, scars are lessons learned. My scars are badges of honor. These scars are sexy. And based on the fact that the in-game character creation process allows you to have surgery scars from transitioning, yep. I'm assuming...
Exactly, Roget. That is why the Eastern crafted games are taking off and kicking fucking ass. Because the Eastern game company, the Eastern game devs are going, women are beautiful. We're going to make them beautiful. If you don't like it, you can fuck right off. And guess what? People are buying those games. And they're making fucking bank. I sell.
Assuming that's what they're referring to here. And yeah, this is woke on steroids, ladies and gentlemen. And I'd show you more examples, but apparently, according to some, BioWare is doing a DMCA takedown of people sharing videos or pictures criticizing this game. Now,
really?
I can confirm this at least a little bit on my end because I had bookmarked at least 4 or 5 videos coming out from this game, mainly to show not only the terrible writing of the dialogue, but also the terrible delivery of lines from the voice actors. And wow. I can confirm, when I checked my bookmarks a few hours later, all of those examples were gone, presumably because they were taken down by BioWare. But despite the media trying to...
You know what, Alex? I don't care. I'm gonna say what I say. It's okay, Tyso. Have a good night's sleep. Yeah. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I don't care. I will say what I'm gonna say. Because how are they gonna DMCA me? There's no video footage being played here. This is all still shots. There's no basis for DMCA takedown. Not to mention, my YouTube channel isn't monetized. Go ahead and try and demonetize it. See what happens. I will laugh.
To boost this game and its image, there are plenty of reviews from YouTubers and other content creators like Skill Up here that are eviscerating this game. In particular, they are going after
not
the
just
writing
BioWare,
and
Pretty.
the storytelling,
Not just
which
BioWare.
used to be a very heavy focus and strength
And yeah,
of this franchise, but
exactly. My Rumble account exists for a reason. They can go after it on YouTube. It'll still be on Rumble for everyone to see. Morals? Certainly. If you play it, certainly.
But in this game, it is laughably bad, and I want to play this little segment of this review because it is brutal.
The writing is frankly terminal. It lacks any nuance or wit or wisdom. It cannot communicate ideas except to say them aloud to the camera. It manufactures petty, unbelievable tension because it doesn't know how to create anything more real, and it's too scared to ever be truly confronting or dark for fear that it might make the audience uncomfortable. Every interaction between the companions feels like HR is in the room, and every interaction led by the main character, Rook, sounds like he's addressing an under-12 soccer team before a semi-final, or teaching toddlers how to properly share toys. The way you build relationships with your companions is so woefully outdated. Drawn-out quest lines completely divorced from the main plot, starring disposable villains and recycling the same settings, enemies, and bosses you find elsewhere.
So you get the point. That line about the dialogue of the characters sounding like they were written while HR was in the room is something very telling. I mean, that is kind of the whole focus of what people are worried.
Well, more like written while Sweet Baby Ink was in the room, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Dragon Age not a Sweet Baby Ink project? Weren't they involved with Dragon Age? With this Dragon Age? I thought I remembered something about them being involved with this. So it wasn't HR being in the room, it was fucking Sweet Baby Ink being in the room. That's who was looking over their shoulder or flat out writing it. Yeah, I can't remember if I want to say that they were before they got rid of all of the projects that they were working on. I want to say Veilguard was one of the things Sweet Baby was working on. I think.
About, and that's a woke ideology in this game, and that is a pretty good summation that
heckle,
relates to those concerns. But there is some other reviews that are making the rounds, including this one from an individual named Natalia, who you can see this translated from Spanish leaves a whole list of criticisms, including terrible graphics, boring and
Morris, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's Sweet Baby Ink or Black Girl Gamers. Regardless of who it was, that's who was looking over their shoulder. Was whatever DEI company BioWare brought in on this for the script rating, that's who was looking over the shoulder.
Monotonous combat. The game doesn't run constantly at 30 FPS. Many of the dialogue options are noticeably made with AI. The whole thing is very linear. Wow. The options lead nowhere in terms of the gameplay. The creator of characters focused on trans and the LGBT community. There's inclusive language, on and on and on. And eventually they would provide this quote saying, "This game will be the tombstone of BioWare." Wow. And this would be a pretty famous quote people are using to describe this game. And given everything that's going on, the disconnect between player and YouTuber related reviews versus the media, there is some speculation out there that the review codes for this game have been heavily curated. So basically what BioWare and EA is doing, they are trying to make sure the people who have access to these review codes, they're going to leave a positive review. That's why they're only giving it out very selectively, and it's becoming extremely...
Alex, that's the thing. I don't know if it's killed by EA. Or wait, because you're saying, sorry, No, sorry. I think I misunderstood what you were saying there. Like, EA will kill BioWare after this fucking tanks. Okay.
Obvious. Now, a lot of these concerns began with this tweet from Wolfheart FPS here saying, "Three creators, myself included, were a bit more critical than others with our hands-on time with Dragon Age the Veilguard. Not a single one of us will be getting a review code with time to actually give opinions before release. Just thought I would
Shocking.
throw that out there." Now, these concerns would be addressed by Fextra Life here, who would really go in on this after learning themselves that they're not getting a review code, despite being a very influential channel when it comes to games like Dragon Age. And this is also someone
Alex.
who spoke
They probably will.
very positively about the franchise in the past. And in their critique of a preview they saw...
Okay. I saw ads. I would wait. Yeah. But here's the thing. Like, if people would just fall... Like, okay. Critics not receiving review codes so they can post a review before the game comes out. This is why I've always given the advice of do not pre-order any game, and do not buy any game at launch. When a game launches, give it like a week. I know there is a very strong desire to get in on the ground floor right when the game launches and start playing it right away. But the fact is, you cannot trust any gaming company anymore. So it is best that you wait like a week for actually like game reviewers that are not bought and paid for by the gaming companies themselves. Let them get their hands on it at launch. Let them put out something to give you an idea of, okay, is this game worth putting money into it? Or is this something to definitely pass on? Give any game a week after it comes out before you buy it, because right now, your money, with the way the world is right now, many people have to be careful about spending their money. Like, the bulk of the population needs to be careful about spending their money. They cannot spend it frivolously. Hold on to your money for a week before launch. A week after launch. Hold on to your money until about a week after launch of a game, and you can see the reviews. Is it worthwhile to get? Is it something to take a pass on? Then you can make an informed decision about whether or not you should spend your hard-earned money on a game instead of burning it. Instead of just burning your money only to play a game that within the first 10 minutes you're going, oh my god, I just pissed away $70 on an absolute dogshit game that I don't want to play. That is my opinion on something, and I maintain it. I have not pre-ordered anything for years. Ever since I got burned by Anthem, I will not pre-order any fucking game whatsoever. Because right now you cannot trust any game company. It may look fantastic, but it's so easy to get burned because the game companies lie their asses off to try and get those pre-orders. Until game companies actually start focusing on making games fun with good storylines, don't give them their money until they've proven they actually are putting out a good product. No, correct, Atanashi. There is no benefit. There is not. Like morals in your instance, you're in a different context. Again, context is key. You pre-ordered it because you are using it for content. So your case is different. Because you're gonna be looking to stream it release day for content on your stream. That is you are basically the same. I would contextualize you as into the reviewer category. With that with that kind of thing. You are essentially reviewing the game live on stream. So you are in a different context than the average game. So that's that's when that's understandable with what you're doing.
Recently, they simply said the game has a lesser strength in terms of its storytelling, and that strength is instead focusing more on the combat, which is a flip-flop of how the franchise has traditionally been. That was the criticism, which is somewhat of a positive note, right? But that was enough for him to lose any chance of getting a review code, and let's listen to what he has to say here.
And you might have also seen Wolfheart's tweets about this topic on Twitter or X, and Luke Stevens' video about this topic as well. Both of those individuals were with us in California for the preview event, and both of them put out preview videos as well as ours. And I think between the three of us, we probably have some of the 3 most viewed videos on this topic, or at least most commented on, I would say. And if you read those tweets and you watch that video, you can tell clearly that they also feel some way that they were intentionally excluded by EA from review access.
They probably
for
were.
some unknown reason, likely because of critical comments they made in their preview video, even.
So basically, like he says, it seems that their mild criticisms of this game based on the preview they saw, they have been barred from having these review codes, which is a clear move by EA and BioWare.
And honestly, I don't think this is the first time this has been done. I don't know if it was with EA or another company, but I vaguely remember hearing something about people criticizing a game that was due to come out would not receive, either they wouldn't receive review codes or review copies, or if they put out a bad review with a review copy, they got DMCA'd or something. And I cannot remember for what game this was or for which company it was, but this behavior feels similar from like a year or 2 years ago, something like that. So it's like this, I don't think this practice is new anymore.
To limit the chances that there's going to be negative reviews of this game, and this is done
Could have been more. It could have.
Obviously, they want to create a narrative that this is a perfect game and has all these stellar reviews, and that is something that you should check out. I mean, they are literally painting this game as a potential Game of the Year candidate, right? If you look at the way that these journalists are covering it, but when you hear people who have actually played the game who are just regular gamers or YouTubers, they have a very different opinion, and I think those people are the ones who slip through the cracks, and the main targets of EA and BioWare were these journalists they knew they would get a good review from. And let's hear a little bit more from this video.
Because you guys told us in no uncertain terms that you're waiting for reviews, and you're about to get a bunch of reviews that have been curated by the publisher for their likelihood of being extremely positive in an attempt to manipulate your view of Dragon Age of Vaelgar. They want you to think there is a universal consensus that the game is amazing, thereby convincing you that you should try it, but also influencing future review scores, as it's difficult to be the outlier. If you've ever done a review for a game or for something, you'll realize that if you're the only one giving a high review score when everyone else is giving it a low review score, it's difficult. Or if you're the only one giving it a low review score and everyone else is giving it a high review score, it's a very difficult position to be in. So if you...
Yeah, I mean, there's that extra pressure when every review out there is positive. There's definitely pressure that puts on other reviewers to also give a positive review. I mean, some people...
And I'm actually going to take this one step further. Because the fact that for the reviews that we're seeing, I have a suspicion. It is unsubstantiated, and I will fully admit this. This is just a gut feeling. I base this on no facts. This is just a gut feeling. But my gut is telling me that BioWare actually reached out to all of those gaming journalists ahead of time, before they even got their codes, their review codes, and said, listen, we're going to give you review codes. We are not giving every critic review codes. We will give you a review code if you give us a high score. That's my feeling. My gut feeling is they pre-planned this before they even disseminated the review codes. It wasn't just we're going to send review codes to people that we know have been good to us in the past. I feel like they actually reached out to these journalist companies and said, we will give you a review code in exchange for you giving us a majorly high score. Like, this got worked out beforehand. That is what my gut is telling me. Maybe money got exchanged as well, where BioWare said, we will give you a review code and we will give you these extra goodies, whatever those goodies might be, in exchange for a positive ranking. That is what my gut is telling me actually happened. That they basically all of the journalists that rated this game so high were basically paid off. A deal was made before they reviewed it, and they got paid off to do these stellar reviews. That, honestly, it's the only logical conclusion that one can come to based upon what we're seeing. Thank you, Henry. Yeah.
People will stand up for what's right, and they'll give whatever their actual true review is, no matter what the other people are saying. But there's definitely some added pressure to that.
There's always a
exactly
scandal potato coming.
And BioWare want. They want these positive reviews to not only generate hype around this game among potential customers, but also to put pressure on future reviews to also leave a positive review so they're not standing out against the crowd. Now, unfortunately, these people who were not given review codes, they came about this whole situation very wrong. Now, remember that Natalia person earlier in this video who was absolutely lambasting this game, right? They actually got a review code because they claimed they were non-binary for the sake of basically convincing.
You went undercover, chat. Natalia went undercover for our benefit. She went into the lion's den and came out with well, she came out shit, but she braved the lion's den. Yeah, well, exactly, Killer Streams. Exactly. This is what they're doing to try and, like, stay alive, because the decisions that they've been making are running them to the ground, but they want to keep making those decisions for reasons because I guess they hate money. I don't know.
These people to give them a review code, and guess what? It worked. And that should really tell you the absolute state of Dragon Age.
Actually, this one, I think, is gonna piss people off even more than all of the woke shit. Because Mass Effect 3, anyone? Remember how pissed off people got with Mass Effect 3? When it turned out that your choices did not mean fuck all? And BioWare is doing it again. Where they're saying that your choice, where BioWare is saying your choices don't matter. Like, this is gonna piss people off more than anything. The few people that will actually buy this game, this is gonna turn them away. Like, this could very well burn BioWare to the ground, and Jameson, I'll provide the chocolate and graham crackers. And we will have a party.
8 of Dragon Age, the Veilguard. Really, this sums it up. People are just sensing that something's not right with the extreme amount of positive reviews coming from traditional media sources versus the heavy criticism from gamers and YouTubers who are not your traditional media sources.
Oh,
it
yeah,
really says
Fish.
that something here isn't right.
I know.
Honestly, looking around at the early indications of this game, it is even woker than a lot of people had predicted. But for now,
Kendrick, Jameson already offered bringing marshmallows. You can bring you can bring the wieners.
How good this game really is.
We'll
leave
have
your
wieners
thoughts
along
about
with our
today's
s'mores.
topic in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
I mean, EA and BioWare are just, they are digging their own graves at this point. There's no other way to put it. They have only themselves to blame for all this shit. They do. And it will be a joy to watch BioWare just burn itself to the ground. No sympathy for me. They made the decision. They made the decision to have this shit in their game in a franchise that is, generally speaking, beloved. They made their bed. Now they have to die in it.